Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like,
when Mexico sends its people, they're
moonlight?
not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're
really
bringing
happened in
crime,
Roswell?
they're rapists.
And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience.
I'm really rich.
For example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice, at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night. Well handled, sir. Well handled. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we got up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
So this was in 2011.
Is that every year?
Yes, however, Trump is the only president to not go to them. I mean, yeah, that's colloquially referred to as nerd prom. In 2011, at the White House press correspondence dinner, Obama basically just bullied Trump, and with like the hackiest jokes you could even think of. I mean, thankfully YouTube wasn't as strict; otherwise, he couldn't have done that Lion King bit with that level of copyright.
That's racist, right? Because he's not African.
He's like half African. He's only half born in Africa.
He's half African, half Purse. No. But what you're saying is like this is Trump's Batman era. It's like
yeah, this is him watching his.
Yeah, because originally Batman became Batman because he saw his parents die. Trump was like mildly inconvenienced and like a little annoyed.
Yeah, he was a little teased, and I mean, but what a story, man! The idea that you're going to just completely, overthrow, and I guess not overthrow, but you're completely, flip upside down American politics because you were teased for a couple of minutes by some really lame jokes, to be honest.
Well, to be fair to him, like, what are you supposed to do? It's the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like, you like, what's in the bowl, bitch? It's like, what is he supposed to do?
That would have rocked. Because you saw that Seth Meyers was there. He was the host of it.
Mm-hmm. He was always the host back then.
And they should have just had a year where Andrew Dice Clay hosted the White House Correspondents' Dinner. But yes, I believe that MAGA started not as a movement yet, but as an idea from this moment forward. Now, to go a little bit backwards, Trump has really only been successful at one thing. I believe that there was some article that mentioned that if he had just taken his father's inheritance, and just place it in like low risk mutual funds, he'd be worth like several $billion.
That's boring as shit.
It is, but he wouldn't have had to, go bankrupt all these times. And like, I mean, he failed at a casino. He's the only guy I know of to actually lose a casino. The place where the house always wins, unless when you're Donald Trump.
Everyone knows you like get a heavily gambly and addicted musician gonna go there and then just make them heavily in debt to you, and then they have to perform at your place forever. Then you're constantly relevant, and people want to go see your show.
Yeah, they could have gotten at the Taj Mahal. That's what his name of the casino was the Taj Mahal. They could have gotten
Susan Boy. Taj
Mowry to play
just doing equations on the board. Just being short, not playing basketball. You guys remember this?
So
go home, Steve. I'm the other black guy.
But Laura, the votes weren't accurate. We have to storm the Capitol.
Laura, there was a lot of Russian propaganda. We don't really know if these are accurate or not.
Stefan told me to check her emails.
You gotta stop going on Facebook so much, Laura. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make a lot of sense. They're not doing enough fact checking over there.
I mean, look at the size of Biden's rallies and look at the size of Trump's. How can you tell me he won? He's just doing conspiracy. Just MAGA Steve Urkel.
I mean, what I heard, like literally, no one was there. No one was there.
I mean, he can't even fill up a pharmacy. Meanwhile, Trump's in. I don't know. My Steve Urkel is progressively becoming Jay Leno.
Lloyd, you see all these cars I got in my garage? You have no idea.
Have you heard about this? Did you hear that Biden stole the election?
It's a 57 Chevy Chevelle.
And in order to set me up, they tried to make me look like I burned myself in my own garage. This is just for us now.
So what are you saying? Something important.
So anyway, the MAGA movement started kind of as an idea here because originally, and I don't know this for sure, but there was some amount of exploration that Trump did to try to run against Obama in 2012. He ends up not doing it. Mitt Romney runs. End of story. Now, in kind of a little bit of a cahoots, there's two major players in the background here, and I want to go through this very quickly because it's not funny at all. But
sidebar: politics is gay, and none of it about it is cool. Anyway, go ahead.
You're not wrong. I mean, the idea that like political humor can even be anything more than is just obsolete. But forget about Go Home Steve, Go Home Roger. And I mean Roger Ailes and Roger Stone, okay?
Bam, got his ass.
Thank you.
Their asses, collective asses.
Yeah. The two Rogers. So yeah, Robert Stone and Robert Ailes. Robert Stone is a very cutthroat political advisor for the conservative Republicans. Roger Stone is the founder and was the key player at Fox News.
What about Robert E. Lee? Get his ass. Never mind.
He's kind of a dandy. Because like during the Civil War, like he always kind of like there's something gay about being a slave owner. Like it was always the gayest guys were slave owners.
You're saying this is their Barbies?
Yeah. Like that was like because it's just something that they could play dress up with and all that. Because like if you went back, like the original Gentleman South was very like, oh, I do declare, like I would never be. So I would never have dinner with a Negro.
Give me the biggest, strongest one. Take his potato sack off so I know exactly what their body looks like. Oh my.
I would pay so much money for that gentleman right there. For that.
He's called a mandingo, you say?
For that stallion of a man.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yes, I bet he could pound those fields.
I can make them fight each other for my pleasure.
There's nothing 3/5 about that, man.
Nothing 3/5. If 3/5 of 8 inches, I don't know what kind of math I need to be doing, but good Lord.
I'm getting the vapors.
Anyway,
They're just posters
the
on your wall, man.
Rogers. The Rogers.
The two Rogers. Damn, is his name even Roger Stone? I don't know shit.
Hey everybody, we're trying our best here. We're learning things. I'm learning things. He's the professor.
Guys, have you ever had a test the next day and you forgot to study? Yes, it is Roger Stone. Roger Stone, he's a conservative lobbyist and political consultant. Mm-hmm. And Roger Ailes ran Fox News, basically up until the point when women started saying, like, he raped me. Roger Ailes got Me Too'd around the very tail end of the Me Too movement.
Just when you thought you were out.
And it was very... I don't want to be careful the way I phrase it. It was very sad because at the time he was getting Me Too'd, he was a very obese, elderly man where...
Were they saying it was current or it was old?
It was both.
Oh.
But there was a lot of stories to where since he was so unhealthy and so old, there were a lot of stories of people saying about how he attempted to assault them, but he couldn't get his dick hard.
You have a lot of time to run then. It's like you're trying to massage it, getting the dick going.
There's like women talking about how they would be standing in front of his flaccid penis and then him just saying like, I actually have a lot of work to do. You're dismissed.
That's what it was. I was thinking about all this work I got doing and your stupid puny titties aren't doing it for me. You stupid bitch. Now get out of my office. Blame it on them. Was it an on-air person or not?
No, it was just a behind-the-scenes
guy.
Yeah.
Ew. I mean, that's fine.
Oh, you mean
The accuser.
Oh yeah. Some of them. It was all like Megyn Kelly has stated that she was never.
I've heard of her.
She stated that she was never assaulted, but she was harassed by Roger Stone or Roger Ailes. I'm sorry,
Robert E. Lee.
Yeah, by Robert E. Lee. No, fucking Tucker Carlson was assaulted by Robert E. Lee. Oh, that's a fine young boy right there.
Little Ken doll baby boy right there. Ooh, got his hair swift to the side.
Did Fox News have any prominent black Republican hosts, like conservative hosts?
There's definitely one I can think of, but I don't know his name. I'd have to look him up.
That guy who was in Congress, Alan West, I think.
No, it's Lawrence Jones. It's this guy.
Yeah, I don't recognize him.
I think
he's new.
More recent, yeah. And then there's this bitch, Harris Faulkner. It's a lady.
Ooh. Oh, that was the other thing. Bill O'Reilly got in trouble for he would just hit on all the black women in the office. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, black at a berry. More on my penis.
What was the name of the Bill O'Reilly show? The something factor?
The O'Reilly factor.
Yeah, the O'Reilly factor. Right now, I'm not factoring how racist I am. Them titties ain't factoring in how much I want the South to rise again.
Apparently, my racism is not a factor for you. Fear factor, everybody.
So anyway, they get together and basically said, we're picking the candidate next time because Mitt Romney gets destroyed by Obama.
Because he was a robot, right?
Huh?
He was a robot, right?
Yeah, he was a very cookie-cutter conservative Republican. And to be fair, he was New England Republican.
Mm-hmm. Old money.
Old money. Well, kind of. He's second-generation wealthy. Anyway, so they basically go to Trump and say,
being
Roger Stone and Roger Ailes.
Okay.
We think you should consider a run for president.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the time, I believe that the consensus was Trump isn't going to win. And I mean, even from Trump himself, there seems to be, I don't know this 100%, but there seems to be some amount of evidence that
You're saying this is 12 or 16?
this would be either somewhere in between 2012 and 2015, because obviously you announced about a year before the actual election. Mm-hmm. So supposedly he asked for a raise on The Apprentice. NBC either doesn't give it to him or doesn't give as much as he wanted. So he decides to use a run for president as a way to leverage himself more money at NBC, thinking that he'll build up his profile. He's also going to have to miss a season, so NBC will have to fill that with something else that probably won't be as successful. So once he loses, he'll be able to go back to NBC and have more negotiation power, because he'll have a little bit more of a cult following, and which he wasn't wrong, but this ended up becoming a way different career path for him. And that more or less was his inspiration. And then also, fuck Obama. I'm gonna see if I can knock him down a peg, and he's gonna have to hand me the keys to the White House. Maybe.
Yeah, Storm the Boardroom just doesn't have the same ring to it. Give him more money.
Give him more money.
We like this show. More Ralphie May.
Stop the brand deal.
And also less commercials. I don't like that as much.
But once he starts running for president in June or July of 2015, he does that nice little glide down the staircase off the escalator, and that's when he says, Mexico's not sending their best. They're sending rapists and murderers, and
if they get away with it, are they not the best?
I mean,
To be fair to the Mexicans,
are they the best rapists and murderers?
Everyone's has the best at what they do.
I wouldn't even say that. I think they're actually very mid rapists and murderers at the best.
Why? Because of the product they're doing, or what? I'm just thinking best as in you get away with it. Like, how else do you determine best?
Body count, just like anything else.
What are we having a street interview right now? What's your body count? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you the amount that I need. No. They don't speak Spanish?
See. He actually doesn't do all that well leading up to the primaries until probably the first debate. I would have to recheck the polls. I could be wrong, but I believe that
You're saying the Republican debate with like
the
20
Yeah,
people.
that was a very crowded field. I believe up until 2020 Democratic primary, that was the most congested primary field of American history. Because basically everybody that you've ever seen on Fox News for the past 20 years was running for president at that time. And
Who all was in there?
Rick Santorum, Michelle Bachmann,
Robert E. Lee.
Robert E. Lee.
Obama was on there.
Obama was running for the Republican nomination, because you can do 2 terms as each party.
Yeah, you got to switch.
Yeah, you just have to switch.
And
he's like, the white me's running now.
Ah, yes.
I think even like some really shouldn't be running. I think like
Wasn't
Plenty, Chris Christie was running.
Wasn't that Godfather's Pizza guy running?
Yeah,
What's his name?
He died of COVID.
Yeah, the black Godfather's Pizza guy. And then there was the
Herman Cain.
Yeah, and then the black guy, the doctor, what was his name? He was like a brain surgeon.
Okay, I can't believe I never said
Ben
Ted
Carson.
Cruz. Okay, so here we go. Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, John Kasich, Ben Carson, Jeb Bush, Rand Paul, not Ron Paul, Mike Huckabee, Carly Fiorina, who was the CEO of Hewlett-Packard, Chris Christie, Jim Gilmore, don't know who he is, and then Rick Santorum. There's this is actually kind of hilarious. So those are people who actually stayed in for the primaries. These people withdrew before the primaries even started. Like, they gave up before even people started to vote, which is George Pataki, Lindsey Graham, Bobby Jindal, Scott Walker, and Rick Perry.
Hell yeah, Pataki. Isn't that the bitch from Doug? Oh no, that's Hey Arnold. It's Helga Pataki.
Yeah, so Helga Pataki's dad was running for president.
You think he has like a a gum shrine of Trump in his closet. Oh, Donald, how your hair flows to the side the way no one else's does. Oh, Donald, the way you make everybody fawn away from you and us and our party. Oh, Donald.
But in public, he's like, "You Cheeto blockhead."
I don't even eat oranges no more thanks to you. I hate them now.
So it seemed to be like people would run for president because they were bored during this time. And to be fair, this kind of did help Trump once the primary started, even though a lot of people did end up dropping out before the even primary started, or the voting part of it started. To rewind a little bit, he doesn't. I believe once he announces, he always stayed within like the top 5 or 10. But it isn't until that first debate that he kind of started running away with it, which was the debate where everyone basically is asked to do a pledge of, if you are not the Republican nominee, show of hands that you agree not to run third party and hurt the actual Republican nominee in the general election. And everyone but Trump raises his hand.
Hell yeah.
And from there, we get into the primaries. He comes in second in Iowa to Ted Cruz. And did he win in New Hampshire? This is the kind of research I should have done. Yes, he wins in New Hampshire. And then from there, he kind of just starts to run away with it. Going to what I said about...
But would you say, at this point, he's like... So use a music analogy. Would you say he's like Drake, where he has like a lot of fans, but they're just kind of mid fans, or he's like a more popular or like a smaller person, a smaller entertainer, but with a hardcore fan base, as opposed to what his final form is now, where it's a little bit of both?
Yeah, I know. I think that is correct. Since there were so many people, he was able to win these primaries because even though more people were voting against him, he had the more loyal fans. But since it's a winner take all, even if you have the most votes, and the most votes is only 30%, so technically 70% voted against you, you still win because it's a winner take all system. Mm-hmm. And because of that, he basically just became the most popular of the popular kids.
Got you. So where are we at this timeline right now?
I think we're just going to skip ahead to he gets the Republican nomination. What?
Probably go before that, because the whole point is that we're supposed to be talking about the people, not him.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of him.
Yeah. This might just be some behind the scenes clips at this point. I don't know, man. Take some of the best of this and put it in. All right, so let's talk about the people who actually voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about why they did, or we just want to go off?
Tell me
first?
why they feel like they need to vote for this outsider.